How's it going, everyone? I want to cover a big remaster finally being confirmed for the PlayStation 4, Xbox, as well as PC. We'll talk about that. And PlayStation Now adds Final Fantasy VII and a couple of other titles. That is the OG Final Fantasy VII. So we'll talk that in just a little bit. But first of all, Alan Wake Remastered is coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. The game that came out on the Xbox 360 back in 2010 is now coming to all other platforms. This is super exciting. This will be on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S, X, and the Epic Game Store, and Alan Wake is a terrific game. The only issue with it, back in the day, it was released, I believe, right around the time as a bunch of other big games, and it was a $60 game that you could beat relatively quickly. Like, I remember beating Alan Wake in, I believe, under 8 hours, and at that time, the big thing was a lot of these multiplayer first-person shooters where you were getting a lot of longevity for your dollar out of, so it was a hard sell for a lot of people, but I paid full price for it, and I really enjoyed it. Excellent narrative, great voice acting, and the visuals at the time were really good. They hold up pretty well today as well, especially because with this version, it's going to get all new 4K visuals and all that good stuff. And hopefully it is priced accordingly, and then it has the DLC in there as well. That is going to be quite good. It doesn't include the Alan Wake's American Nightmare, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but still the original game and both DLC is pretty nice. And if the game is priced accordingly, you know, at around $40, I think it is going to do pretty well. And this probably sets the table for Alan Wake 2 becoming a thing at some point. Now, the game is an Epic Game Store exclusive, so it seems like Epic Games does have a hand in Alan Wake, you know, going forward, and with what Remedy is doing in general, because Remedy's last game, Control, was an Epic Game Store exclusive for quite a while. It was a one-year timed exclusive, so on PC, things seem to be happening over there as far as how they want to roll these games out. Nevertheless, there isn't a release date at this stage of the game, but it should be available sometime this fall. That is what the Epic Game Store is suggesting, so hopefully we do see it then. Definitely a game to keep your eyes on, especially if you didn't play the original. Just go into it not expecting the lengthiest game in the world, and honestly, with the DLC being included as well, that's going to add a little bit of content. And for $40, it is going to be a good pickup, especially if you enjoyed Control, or if you did play Quantum Break. You know what to expect out of a Remedy title, and Alan Wake was a pretty darn good one. And again, hopefully this sets up Alan Wake 2 sometime in the future. And I do believe that is actually going to be happening, and if you told me that 2 to 3 years ago, I would have been like, you are absolutely insane. But hey, wild things be happening in gaming in 2021 and beyond, so that's pretty cool. Also want to quickly cover the PlayStation Now games that are being added this month. Some pretty notable titles: Tekken 7, Killing Floor 2, Final Fantasy VII, Windbound, Pathfinder, Kingmaker Definitive Edition, and Moonlighter, an action RPG there. Pretty throwback RPG, but good one as well. Final Fantasy VII is the original version, so that should be noted, but at this point, you know, it's worthwhile to play both the OG Final Fantasy VII and the remake. I mean, I'm sure most of you guys have played the remake at this point. It was a plus title for plus subscribers, and yeah, I'm sure if you were looking forward to it, you played it at this point. But the original still has that original story, and yes, it hasn't aged the best. But I beat it probably 4 years ago. Yeah, probably 4 or so years ago, the original Final Fantasy VII, and I still really enjoyed it. But again, this is a game that, you know, is something I'm going to be very nostalgic with, so maybe not everybody can get into it for a 2021 audience. If nothing else, if you haven't played the remake, go play the remake. That version is tremendous. But yeah, that is the additions for the month of September. Tekken 7 as well, great fighting game. Killing Floor 2, great multiplayer title. Windbound's a pretty cool game. Pathfinder and Moonlighter rounding up a pretty solid roster of additions to PlayStation Now. And that's going to do it for me. Again, Alan Wake Remastered is coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and PlayStation Now gets a bevy of new updates and additions. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.